a new level. So we just really enjoy it. Okay, we get to hear from our early learners. Sherry Haddad is their teacher. And we also get to take Sherry to Riverside with us. So we're very excited about that. Come on. Oops. Hold on. I'm getting a hold on sign here. Somebody dropped their instrument. Sherry's been amazing. She has a range of ages and abilities that are challenging, to say the least. Okay.
Oh, music first? Okay.
Wow, amazing patience. Okay, fight for freedom. They're going to present the Declaration of Independence, costumes and all. Come on up.
Use the mics.
The Second Continental Congress formed by a committee known today as the Committee of Five. It is consisted of John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, Robert R. Livingston, and Roger Sherman.
The Committee of Five was to come up with a draft for the Declaration of Independence. The committee decided that Thomas Jefferson would write the Declaration of Independence.
The Declaration of Independence did more than just state that the colonies wanted their freedom. It explained why they wanted their separation from the British Crown by listing colonial grievances against King George III.
The Declaration of Independence is considered to be the founding document of the United States of America, and it was adopted on July 4th, 1776.
We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, and endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Wow, we've got some little historians happening. Okay, Travel America. Let's see our little ones come up. Thank you, Laura. Laura Rose has taught them and has done such a great job.
Use the mics, Laura.
Oh no, it's British versus Indian. All right. Okay.
The mics.
This
You gotta use the...
this is kind of just a question and answer. And who founded America? Very good. What year did he find America?
In 1706.
Who did he meet there?
Indians.
Indians. Very good. Who was the Indian?
Me.
There you go. Very good. Okay. Because we've traveled through time and that's how we got here, then we're going to go into the tax on tea. We're going to skip some time here. And there's the tea in the harbor. Okay. So this was the American Revolution. Who yelled, "The redcoats are coming"? Paul Revere yelled, Nathaniel, Paul Revere yelled,
The redcoats again.
very good. The redcoats are coming, the redcoats are coming. George Washington led the Continental Army in the American Revolution. Who was George Washington?
The father of our country.
Very good.
Father of the country.
He was the first.
Bush president.
Very good. Okay.
Always divided though.
Very good. And then we're gonna go with who did he have make the American flag?
Betsy Ross. Betsy Ross.
Very good. And we're gonna travel some more into some time here. Who was Thomas Jefferson?
The guy wrote the Independence.
Very good. And we know that to be.
The 4th of July.
How do we celebrate that?
Like fireworks. Fireworks.
Good. And also, what also represents the independence?
The Liberty Bell.
And
The Statue of Liberty.
very good. All right, this is what they've learned. And they learned some of the states and capitals and the resources, the natural resources. And that's what we spent the last semester doing. Very good, you guys.
Okay, we have a group of people that we need to say a huge thank you to. And I'm going to invite Shannon, would you come on up? Shannon is our fearless advisor for student council, And Michaela, I don't see you. Oh, there you are. Okay. Would you come up? And Shannon, I will let you introduce your team and...
Okay, where's all of ASB?
Okay. Come on up, the rest of you.
We have a small group, so we have Michaela here as our president, and we have Aiden, who is our vice president / treasurer, and Dana did the fearless task of taking over as secretary when we lost someone last semester. And so I'll let them all share a little bit. It was, you know what, these guys really just had a heart just for the school and just for things. Every week they would talk about how to bless the students, and pretty much they're most of the students. There's only just a few more, but they were amazing. They were a blessing to just, they created and brought all your snacks for this evening, and all their money they raised this year went to providing for that tonight. And so they just poured out, and I am blessed to have known you guys. So you guys rock. But anyway, I'll let Michaela talk. She's our president, and she was an amazing president. I mean, I was blown away by her leadership and how she's grown. So good job.
So yeah, we spent the past year providing lunches and stuff, so that's what we've done.
No, what about the shoes and stuff?
Oh yeah, and we did the Souls for Souls shoe drive. We collected almost 50 pairs of shoes for that, and we did a few scavenger hunts and just some different activities. We provided in and out for lunch a couple times, and yeah, so it's been a good year. I think that's all. Those are kind of things.
You know, they just add so much to our year because lunches would be very boring without student council contribution. Home-packed lunches would get very boring after a while. And so they just made lunchtime really fun. And they handled the entire assembly time at the beginning of lunch hour. We gather together, they lead the pledge to the American flag and the pledge to the Christian flag and lead worship sometimes. So we have been and lead in prayer, and we've just been very blessed. We have amazing leaders, and our students are just growing up all the time, and we love to see it. Okay, now we have the Spanish class with Miguel Maturina. You know, Miguel was a godsend from God. He just happened. I know Miguel from when we used to, years back, we were here for church. And we were in our teachers' meeting, and he happened to walk through because he's an elder of the church, and he's retired, and so he walked through the church, and I just knew in my spirit that was our Spanish teacher. And I went right into, Miguel, would you like to join us? And I introduced him as our Spanish teacher. So that's how we got our Spanish teacher this year.
Thank you. I would like to stress one thing concerning your children that are now in high school and are, you know, they're excellent students. I really got to enjoy them. And I said, look, you guys got to sing a song for the extravaganza here this evening at the end of the year. And I put some slides together, and I got a song that he sang. So he's going to sing that today. So if you guys give me a few minutes. One more thing. These young people are very brilliant. Parents, I urge you to encourage them to go to college. They're just superb, all of them. I'm serious. I'm serious. And by the way, the young ladies that did the presentation on literature and stuff, oh, that brings me back to college again. And you guys can closer so you guys can hear it.
unirnos en cantar Mi Dios es grande. Agua en vino volvió, ojos ciegos abrió, que como tu Dios, solo tú, brillas en la oscuridad. Nos levantará, quien como tu Dios, solo tú. Mi Dios es grande, mi Dios es fuerte, tú eres más alto que ningún otro. Mi Dios redime, perfecto en gloria, mi Dios, mi Dios. Brillas en la oscuridad, tu amor nos levantará, que como tu Dios, solo tú. Mi Dios es grande, mi Dios es fuerte, eres más alto que ningún otro. Mi Dios redime, perfecto en gloria, mi Dios, mi Dios. Si Dios es con nosotros, ¿quién podrá detenernos? Si Dios es con nosotros, ¿quién nos va a detener? Si Dios es por nosotros, ¿quién podrá detenernos? Si Dios es con nosotros, ¿quién nos va a detener? ¿Quién nos va a detener? Mi Dios es grande, mi Dios es fuerte, eres más alto que ningún otro. Mi Dios redime, perfecto en gloria, mi Dios, mi Dios. Mi
You know, Spanish is getting to be a necessary commodity anymore. There are jobs that you can't get. They won't even consider you if you don't know Spanish now. And so that's one way that we feel like it's more than just taking a class and checking off that you took X number of years of Spanish. But this is something we really want our students to get familiar with, to get comfortable in, so that more job opportunities are available, right? Okay, let's go on to our little math explorers, our math geniuses.
Nathaniel wants to tell you what time it is. This is his favorite book. I can hardly pry it out of his hands. But he likes to tell, what time is it?
8 o'clock.
Very good. What time is it now?
12 o'clock. 12 o'clock.
Oh, look at that. What time is that? What time is it?
8 o'clock.
Very good. What's the little hand mean?
I mean hour.
Very good. What's the big hand?
Minute. Half.
Yeah, very good. How many minutes in between here?
Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12.
Okay, come here, Chris. Stop. This was practice was like very distractive. Okay. How many minutes in an hour?
60.
How many seconds in a minute?
60.
How many days a week?
60.
Very good. How many months in a year? How many days in a year?
65.
I didn't be in here.
I want to get back to it.
Okay. We also did.
The time is 9 o'clock.
We
It's time to 6 o'clock.
we also did
It's 6 o'clock.
dominoes and wars.
And what? And dominoes
They just
and
like to play
slapjack.
games. And slapjack. They had a lot of fun just learning how to match numbers, write them,
No doubt.
and play games and learn how to take turns. And it was a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
But you can see it's real random, but they do pick it up. Okay, thanks you guys. Come on.
I think we have another performer in the Adams family. Okay, I think I'm off somewhere.
Honor Science Fair participant?
No.
Oh,
Okay.
well, I dropped you down because Nathaniel was banging on the thing.
Okay. Okay. This year we did the science fair, and we had several students perform, but the only one that's here tonight is Nathaniel. And come on up, Nathaniel. And I'd like you to tell us a little bit about your project and what you discovered from doing it. And he also has his project in the back, and we'd be happy to share it with you later on.
Hello, I am Nathaniel Tanaka, one of the participants that moved on the rim science. And my project was basically, the purpose of the experiment was to determine how the changing angle of incidence, or the angle of the sun to the solar panel, the effect, affects the efficiency of the solar cell. My question, what is the best angle of incidence of sunlight for the maximum power generated by a solar cell? And my hypothesis was a 90-degree angle of incidence to the sunlight will produce the most power. Now, as you already know, my project moves on the rims, And besides winning another silver medal like last year, I was one of the 10% of the projects moving on to an online organization called Broadcast Masters, where you can win some cool prizes, and I am doing that right now. I have to add the application, so yeah, it'll be pretty fun. Thank you.
I don't know if you got it, but what he was talking about is a solar cell, meaning, you know, like the solar panels that we have, that we see around. And what he was dealing with was the angle that the sun hit it, and how does that affect how effective, how efficient the energy level that he gets from the sun. So that was quite an interesting project, and obviously the judges thought it was interesting as well and thought it merited additional work. And so they set him on RIMS. What he means by RIMS is the regional. So we do a local private school science fair, and then some of our students are invited to go on to the regionals, which is made up of counties in the area. So it's the whole Inland Empire, it's the Riverside, Inyo County, Mono County, and San Bernardino. Is there another one? I think I got them all in there. And so this is like 800 projects that they're up against at that point. So Sue and I actually went to visit and had a very interesting experience meeting some of the other competitors, and we just think it's just an amazing opportunity for the students. The judges interview each one of them individually, and so they get an opportunity to explain what they learned, and it's amazing experience all the way through. So we're really proud of Nathaniel. And no, I don't happen to have his medal with me tonight. I'm sorry, I was going to have his medal for him, but I don't. Physical science has their displays back there. Do you want to talk about those, Sue? Sure. Why don't you explain what the students have done? Come on up. No, come on up. Sue is also going with us up to Riverside, so we're excited to have her teaching again next year.
I want to tell you about, I'm proud of all of my students that participated in the science fair, and this was the first year for most of them. But I want to tell you, one of the reasons I go to RIMS is to see the competition. And Nathaniel had about 2 tables, long tables, full of competition, because at RIMS, in the local fair, they compete against their grade. But when they advance to RIMS, they compete against categories from 6th to 8th grade. He's in the junior division, so he competed against everybody who did a solar energy project. And I know it was his interview that probably carried the day, because he was so excited about it and able to really tell you about his project, and did a great job. Anyway, that my students also did a project that built on and expanded on one of our modules, the Forces of Creation. And this module actually talked about nuclear forces. So I had them adopt an element, and it helped them to learn about the periodic table and to discover the physical characteristics or properties of their chosen element, and also the chemical properties of their chosen element. And so they have words in the back that I hope you get a chance to look at. They all did a great job. Thank you.
We actually had one of the students, one of our private school district fair students, actually made it all the way to state. He's actually at Riverside, and so that was pretty heady, and so he got to compete up against it. He's only an 8th grader, right? Isn't Ethan? Evan? He's only a 7th grader. And yeah, just said he was checking out radioactivity with various appliances in your house. And again, the judges felt that was very, should I say, relevant to our culture today and a concern, and felt it was worthy of additional study, and so they passed him on up to state. And that was a really cool experience for him. They were very glad that they had done it. Okay, let's move on to another writing class. Cheryl has the junior high IEW. Come on up and let's hear from them.
All right. For our class, we were doing writing about from the Gold Rush to, I forgot what was the other period?
Explorers.
Yeah, the Explorers period. We were doing writing stuff on that, and we for today, we were given an assignment to write something that has to do with history that we enjoyed using our writing, whatever writing skills. Topic of our choice that has to do with history, and applying, that's the word, applying all the things we learned. All right. Want to start? I can start as well. All right, I'll start. All right. History of the Battle Tank by Ethan Evans. First of all, what is a tank? Some might think it refers to tank tops. Others will refer to tanks that are used for holding water. But the most famous meaning for the word tank points exclusively to the main battle tanks. So what is a main battle tank? You may ask. Battle tanks are used in long distance and hard terrain combat and are usually at the front of the advance. Where did tanks come from and how did they affect history? Let's find out. During World War I, or the Great War, the different nations had been developing new ways of eliminating the enemy. This brought forth poison gases, flamethrowers, and fighter planes. The main problem of the war was trench warfare. Nobody could push very far without the loss of too many lives. These problems demanded a solution. Ernest Swinton, who was the British then Colonel of Royal Engineers, had an idea to build a machine capable of moving across open areas and be impervious to enemy fire. In the early morning of September 15, 1916, about 30 tanks made their first appearance on the battlefield. The tanks shocked the Germans. Many eyewitnesses recall observing the Germans gaze upon the tanks in disbelief. The tanks struck interest in many countries, beginning the era of the tank. Early tanks have been an astounding new form of combat in their time. Early tanks may have been an astounding new form of combat in their time, but they had horrible design flaws and mechanical issues. The tanks of World War I were cramped, lacking in effort, and didn't give the crew much oxygen. Many of these problems were solved before, during, and after World War II. The Second World War was in fact the time period of the highest tank designs constructed. Almost 400 different tank designs had been drawn up, and almost 225 of those were built. World War II, from an engineering point of view, was the battle to produce the best tank in the world. Many vehicles were simple and easy to use. Others were big and complicated, and some could even strike fear into people. Great fear. In the end, the simple and easy tanks to build beat the stronger ones because they could be produced in mass numbers. The Allied forces won the Second World War because they kept manufacturing plants building simple vehicles that could be transferred anywhere in large numbers. The Axis forces believed that super weapons could outmatch the Allied machines. And although many of these super weapons did, did so, they had many mechanical problems. After the war ended in 1945, tank design took a short break before returning to the advancing of machines. When the 1950s hit, designs of vehicles began to reassemble the modern main battle tank. Every war leading up to the 21st century shaped the requirements of battle tanks greatly. Although the first tank design was made by Leonardo da Vinci in the 15th century, tanks would make their appearance much later. Battle tanks are required in most every land-based assault. Without them, we would still be stuck in trenches, fighting till stalemate. To sum up, tanks can go over most any terrain and be used to conquer countries without delay. Battle tanks are spectacular machines capable of overcoming many challenges.
On Titanic. I know most of you have probably already heard this story, so it's probably going to be much drier. I think his was better, so. Okay. Titanic. Crowds, many young children run flippantly around the deck. The year is 1912, May 10th. Standing on the dock, we shade our eyes from the sun to stare up at the deck, at the looming vessel in front of us. Our eyes travel up the deck to see the black smoke seeping out of its 4 black and yellow smokestacks. This was the ship everyone said to be unsinkable. Due to its 4 watertight compartments, excitement spreads through our bodies as we take a glance at one another before picking up our bags. Anxiously walking toward the boarding platform, our heads filling with thoughts of luxury as we throw our worries to the side. The thought enthralls us more as we think of the grand staircase, which is fixed with ornamentally carved cherubs of mahogany, beautiful chandeliers in which the light filters through the crystals. Titanic is luxury, pure luxury. The fresh paint fills our senses as we stand in our second-class stateroom. The bed frames glossy mahogany. A dainty china water dish lying on an embellished dressing table. Above it shimmers a porthole, which we peer through. Open seas stretched around the petite porthole, the land shrinking behind us rapidly. Shortly after unpacking, we discuss exploring. We have 2 tickets for a hot bath and another for a Turkish bath, which is in style presently. We are briefly delighted that we are allowed to use these lifts to move about from deck to deck on Titanic. Outside on the upper deck, we spot an outside tea room surrounded by lavish deck chairs and frivolously dressed men and women of first class. The women had chatted amongst themselves as we pass by. The clang of their dinner bell alarms us that it is time for us to be ready for our meal, which was asked for the first-class passengers.